Hello again. This video, which we're going to go and put on YouTube, is about planting a tree, a macadamia tree, and the process which we are doing to plant it. Variations on them, but basically this is how we're going to do it. And to plant the tree we're going to need a few things. First of all, we're going to need the hole, which is down here. We've already dug that with a Dingo mini digger, the auger. Next thing you're going to need the tree. This is a grafted macadamia tree and an 849 variety, which is a Hawaiian variety. It fruits in about, they say, about 5 to 6 years. It can grow to be a very big tree. We've already planted a few of these already, around about 100, which I'll show you in a little while. And third of all, we need a little shovel. So this is a little shovel we bought from a well-known Australian hardware shop, only like $8 or something like that, but nice little size. Next of all, we need a knife as well. I've got this cheap little knife, a little workforce knife. That's sort of a utility knife, very good. And then you need I'll wear some gloves, go easy on my hands because we're planting hundreds of these trees, and last of all we've got water. So there's another video on our watering system, and I've tested it, it all seems to be working, so we'll see how it goes. So I'll put on my gloves and we'll get into it. These are just nice little gardening gloves. I find these are the best, cotton and a rubber backing there. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is we're going to level out the inside of the hole with the loose dirt there. Have it around 20 centimetres deep. Not sure what that is in inches. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water in the hole. Trickling out because it's under gravity fed, so we're close to the top of the hill, we're not far down for the trailer, so it's a bit slow, but it'll work. Just a trickle there, and the water coming out has a liquid fertilizer in it, so it's brownish in colour. It's sea salt, which is everyone says it's a great fertilizer when you're planting trees. So I'll keep that going for a little while longer. Get it soaked. What's happened? It's a trickle, isn't it? Have I got this on? Hang on, I may not have it on. Had the tap off, so from the trailer. So try it again. That's better. Much better. Bit of air in the pipe, that's fine. Keep it going. Here it comes. Okay, that'll do. Alright. So, next thing to do, we'll get out the knife. And we will try to cut the plastic wrapper off the tree. Not the best at this, but I'll try not to cut any of the roots. Put it back in its pouch. And lift the tree out of the bag. Some of the trees we've gotten already, they fall apart like this, potting mix inside of them. Some of them don't. So it all depends. Okay, so we're going to place the tree in the hole. I've been told, I'm trying to do it, face the graft point to the south, because we're in the southern hemisphere and you want to avoid the sun hitting the graft. So the graft point is here, and the graft is facing towards the camera, which is facing south. So got that there, and I'm going to fill it in. This is where the shovel will come in handy, but I may not need it. Just fill it in so the tree is stable and fairly straight. I'll get the shovel and sort of backfill the hole with the native soil. One thing I've forgotten as well is the fertilizer. So we're using We're using blood and bone here. It's a fairly mild sort of fertilizer made out of blood and bone, I guess, from animals. Not exactly vegan. So what I'll do, I'll just go and grab the blood and bone after I finish sort of patting down the tree. That's nice and level there. So I'll go and grab our can of fertilizer. Right, so we're back with our bucket of fertilizer, the blood and bone. Let's put my gloves back on. I've got a bit wet, so a bit messy. So we'll just sprinkle some of the fertilizer around the tree, and just a couple of small handfuls, and then we're going to try to heavily water the tree with this solution of the water and the sea salt. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the water is quite brown. It's not clear water, and this is rainwater too, which I think is pretty good for the tree. Doesn't have any chemicals in it besides the water itself. So I'll give that a good water. Forecast to rain today, but still like to give it a good water. Give it its best shot at surviving. And finally, we'll mulch it. So far we've been using grass clippings for mulching, some straw, but we're running out of that. So I've got some wood chip. We're going to mulch it. And I think mulching is really important when it comes to trees. I think it's pretty good to heavily mulch a tree with the mulch. I'm doing it by hand here, but normally I'd use a fork or just tip the barrow out, trailer out to mulch it. So I put a fair bit on. Any sort of organic matter to a degree would be good for mulching. So we're just using wood chip, which is probably mainly it's a bit of leaves, bark, stuff that's come in. What I like to do is I like to form a donut around the tree, so I don't want to have the wood chip hitting against the trunk of the tree, because I've heard that could cause problems with the tree, perhaps the trunk to start to rot out. Yeah, so that's really about it. So if you've got the hole dug and everything like that, it doesn't take too long to plant a tree. It's not too strenuous activity, but when you've got to plant hundreds of them, it becomes quite a big activity. So it's just a demonstration of planting one tree, and hopefully it'll grow big and strong. And we'll go down and have a look at some of the trees we've already planted and see how they're going. My wife and I planted them yesterday and today. So here are a few trees that we've planted yesterday, and I said today earlier, but that was the first one we planted today, the one I've planted earlier. It's yesterday and the day before. So you can see the leaves down the bottom are a bit whitish on it. The nursery we bought them from, the boss there said the mid-level leaves of these trees have not been hardened off to the sun yet, and she said they're susceptible to sunburn. So she suggested getting a solution of paint, just a white paint and water, a 3 to 4 to 5 to 1 solution. We're probably using close to a 5 to 1 solution, and to spray the leaves with a sprayer, and so that'll give them, the leaves, a bit of protection, and over time that'll wash off as well, so hopefully to minimise the sunburn of the trees. And they're really beautiful trees. They're the nursery did, Yarra Happity Nursery, really nice people down at Stewart's Point, did a really nice job with the trees, really helpful, a good deal. We're really happy with it. We wanted a few extra trees, 50 extra trees, because we had a bit extra room, and they were able to help with that, and We wanted a couple of avocado trees. We asked for a couple of avocado trees as well to plant in the garden, because avocados are really expensive to buy and my wife really likes them, so if we can get those trees going. So yeah, so we got those as well, so really helpful, really nice people to deal with. And we're giving these trees a good shot of life. You can see how we mulch these trees with the grass clippings, straw, but we've run out of straw. That was just from when I mowed the grass previously last week, and there's only so much of that. Yeah, so they're looking okay. They've only been in for a day or two, depending on when we planted them, and we've planted around 100 so far. So it sort of roughly takes about less than 5 minutes, so maybe 3 to 4 minutes for us to plant a tree. And as we go further down, you see with the next tree, we put a guard around it, just a bit of cardboard, which I got from my work, where like I work in a IT department of a school, and often we have big deployments of devices and gadgets going out to hundreds of places because it's a fairly big school. And so I was fortunate enough to get this cardboard. It's not perfectly clean, there is a sticker on it, so it's a bit of a bummer, but it's pretty clean cardboard, not much plastic on it. And this is sort of a mat, and we're using a bit of string, a bit of jute string to tie it together. This is frost guard. Try to get a bit of frost guard action, because as we go down the hill, the frost will start to come up the hill as we go into winter. So we're hoping this will give a bit of protection for the tree against frost. Yes, so that's a bit of I know people are doing different things. That's one thing I like about macadamia farming. People do their own thing and people try different things, but everyone learns from each other. This is what we're doing to try to give the trees a bit of protection. And over time that cardboard will rot away. The label, which you can see here, that label will probably stay behind, but I'll come around one day and just collect it all and throw it in the bin. I had a bit of an accident over here with this tree here. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how we did it, but it lost its top. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. This fellow, a lot shorter than its peers. Yeah, so I hope it can keep going. So we'll have a special place in my heart for this one if it can come back. I hope it does. So yeah, a bit disappointing that happened. That's the only accident so far, so we'll try to avoid that happening in the future. If we're planting hundreds of trees, 350 trees, there's bound to be one or two that don't really work out for whatever reason. A few of the trees are a little bit top heavy. We walk up the row. There's sort of some of the trees have got nice sort of side branches coming out already, which is a really good sign. For example, this one here, and actually most of them have got this sort of this Y shaping, this tri shaping coming out, which is really hopeful. That's really a good sign. But you got some of them, not this one. It's a little bit straggly, a bit too top heavy, but it's okay. We had one up here which I did knock as well, which didn't help, which is quite top heavy. And then when we planted, not all the trees have got perfectly straight, but they should straighten themselves out over time. This one's a little bit top heavy. This one, not this one here. This one here's got beautiful new growth coming out of it already. Really healthy, really good. Looking really good. This fellow here, I did knock it with the hose, and I've tried to tie it up with some bamboo and some string, and yeah, see how it goes. But it's a bit sort of wonky. Maybe it'll strengthen up over time, hopefully. But yeah, I might have to do a better job with that. try to get a bit straighter. Yeah, poor thing. It's quite strong. It's quite good, got good growth on it. All these trees have got good growth on them actually. They're really healthy trees. We're really happy with them. Yarra Happy Nursery did a really nice job. Really, really good. Really. So we want to do the best we can for them, and try to plant them and look after them and give them the best shot in life. This one's a little bit scraggly. It's sort of leaning over in the wind. But I think the back and forth, as the wind rockets it back and forth, that will strengthen the trunk and get it to be stronger in the future, which is what we want. So this is the last one we've got in a row here. There's another hole, but we're not going to plant that one because it might get in the way as we plant down here. This hole here might be a bit of a pathway, so I'm going to leave this one till last, this hole. And also we've got this big tallowood tree here, so I don't know what's going to happen there. It's probably not a great idea to be planting under a tree, a big tree, but we'll see. I'm not going to knock this tree down, this old tree, because this tallowood, because it has a lot of sentimental value for me. Had pets buried under there, and so it's an important tree for me. Although there's no sort of productive value out of it. There's a lot of sentimental value with it. So with all these big eucalypts up the top of the ridge here, they're beautiful. They're a good source of timber too for firewood. They're constantly dropping branches, so I don't want to chop them down either. To put in a few macadamia trees. We'll see how it goes anyway. Based on my current calculations, we'll get at least 800 trees in, and that'll be a good sideline. It'll probably keep me busy as I get older too, so don't want to overdo it. It won't be a full-time living, but based on current market prices of nuts, it could be a very good sideline. For other sources of retirement income, could be an excellent sideline. Could sort of pay a lot of bills and keep us going in a better lifestyle than what we would have otherwise, and have this land, which is otherwise non-productive, to be very productive. So thanks for listening to me, and we'll keep updating this. I'm not posting this while we're doing it because we're too busy, but when I get back to the city and have time during this lockdown to stay at home and work on the computer, I'll try to upload some of these videos and get some more new content going on the channel. And thanks for watching. Thank you. See you later. Bye.